So my first production with Madison Shakespeare Company was actually Richard II, the first play in the Henriade. I played Scroop, who, funnily enough, is his descendant is going to be one of the traitors of Henry in this production. Spoiler alert. Whenever preparing for a role like this, the most important thing to think of first is, why is this person doing what they're doing, and how are they responding to the problem that's ahead of them? I think for Hamlet, as well as for Henry, I think the question that's being asked of them is the same. We talked about, do I have what it takes? Am I willing to do? Am I able to do what must be done, or what they think must be done? For Hamlet, that question is, do I have what it takes? He briefly considers, do I have what it takes for me to simply end my life and escape the pressure of this responsibility? And then ultimately, do I have what it takes to sever myself from the things in my life that bring me joy and commit myself to revenge for this act that was, this wrong that was done to me? Do I have what it takes to take revenge? For Henry, it's a similar question. He, for his youth, and in the first two Henry plays in the Henriade, Henry IV, parts 1 and 2, he, in my opinion, he feels this enormous pressure from his father to be a person who doesn't feel ready to be. He does not feel that he has what it takes, or wants to have what it takes, to step into that role, and so he retreats into a lifestyle of frivolity and unseriousness. He attaches himself to these people who are a distraction from the responsibility that he feels this weight of, and that he knows he will have to deal with eventually. I think he genuinely loves the people that he's around. Of course, he has genuine affection for Falstaff and all of the people that we see him run with as Prince Hal. He, in this play too, in Henry V, he talks about his desire to be an everyman, his genuine affection for the people that he leads. I think he feels a real weight of responsibility for the people that he's in a position to protect or to put at risk. And I think a lot of that genuine affection comes from that time among the people that he's now empowered to lead. But now in Henry V, he, after that period in his life, is being forced to answer the question, do I have what it takes to step into this responsibility? Do I have what it takes to make the sacrifice of leaving that part of my life behind? Do I have what it takes to make these difficult decisions and to demonstrate to the people who are judging me by this reputation that I am a worthy possessor of this power, and that I am not to be trifled with, I am not to be underestimated? These are similar questions to a lot of Shakespeare's great characters, and means the preparation has to be incredibly thoughtful and really trying to understand these people as humans. What Shakespeare did before, and better than anybody else in my opinion, is wrote full characters with full human motivations that whatever period in time we're watching them or reading them, we can relate to. Because this isn't a question about what is the central question, at least, isn't what do I do here in the year 1597. It's what do I do as a person? How are these emotions that all of us experience impacting the decisions that I make? All of us know what it is to feel the weight of responsibility, to feel that we hold the experience of other people in our hands. And Henry V is experiencing a hyperinflated version of that. He holds the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in his hands, his entire nation, his family's reputation, all of these things. But not all of us are an absolute monarch with tremendous power, but all of us know what it's like to wrestle with the weight of responsibility and what our actions bring about for the people that rely on us. Yeah, so I have a multi-year history with MSC that has had a multi-year hiatus. So I've had the honor, the privilege of being in a couple of different productions, full-length productions, and some of the more creative projects that we've done. My last project with the company was playing Hamlet in a sudden Shakespeare project, Hamlet in a Day, which was a real joy. And then, like so many of us, the pandemic happened. I became a parent, and there was a time in my life where things outside of the theater were on the front burner. But after, I think, actually seeing a photo from our Hamlet production and commenting on it, Jason reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have an interesting idea for you. If you would be interested in doing this, here's something we would like to do." And the prospect of course, getting to play another incredibly rich, interesting, and challenging role in a production, a full-length production, was incredibly exciting. And to get to work with a company that I know really cares about the work, is engaged in performing Shakespeare in a way that's interesting and accessible, was really exciting. And I knew Sam obviously by reputation, but also a little bit personally. He played the Ghost in our production of Hamlet, and obviously has a incredible track record of engagement and excellent work in the Madison theater community and all around, the market. So knowing that he was going to be directing was also very exciting for me. I can't wait to get started. Especially for the plays in the Henriette, I think that they are incredibly compelling and incredibly relevant to how we ask questions and the stories that we tell today. I think for Henry, just like Hamlet, just like so many of Shakespeare's leading characters, his central question is, do I have what it takes? Not only do I have what it takes to step out from my father's shadow, to step away from the reputation that I have as a playboy, an unserious person, and impress or earn the respect of this power structure around me, but do I have what it takes to make the difficult decisions that somebody in power has to make? And do I have what it takes to hold on to my humanity and my soul after being forced to make those decisions, especially in a time of war, especially in a political structure where you're endowed with incredible power, but with that comes incredible consequence for the decisions you make. When you hold absolute power, you have nobody to blame but yourself for the ends that follow those decisions. So I think it's an incredibly compelling thing. We talk, of course, all the time in our society now about the consequences of power, the responsibilities of power. How do we make the decisions about who we endow with that power? And to investigate that in Shakespeare is incredibly relevant, I think. So I think the legacy of Prince Hal and his period of Falstaffian, fun and frivolity for our Henry V, the way I am really interested in playing this character, is that he has genuine affection for that time in his life, but he recognizes that reputation, if he does not work actively to correct the record or to convince people that he is different now, is going to haunt him and is going to make him ill-equipped to exercise the power that he needs to exercise to accomplish his goals. And I mean, the first scene in our production, the tennis ball speech, is a perfect example of this. Before he receives this present from the Dauphin, tennis balls, an insulting gift that implies that he's an unserious, boyish leader, he is hyper measured with his court. He's saying to Canterbury and the rest of the nobles in this collective, are you sure that we can do this? Be careful. If we make a decision without being considered, people will die. Tens of thousands of people will die. People there will suffer. People here will suffer. We have to be careful. As soon as he realizes what the Dauphin's implication is and the risk that his reputation is presenting to his position, immediately he's talking about he is going to mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down, that these balls have turned to gunstones. He from that moment forward for the rest of the play there is not another time where he's like, well, maybe we shouldn't do this. he recognizes how difficult it is, but he immediately knows that this is the course of action I'm going to take, because he's presented with the risk that this reputation that he's built presents to him, and he is going to correct the record.
Right.
I mean, I think maybe the best way to think about the Henriette or about Shakespeare's plays that have recurring characters is it's almost like an anthology series. It's fun to see all of them, but it's definitely not necessary. Maybe it helps you get an idea of what these archetypes are like, or how these people that appear in multiple things make decisions, but it definitely does not make them any less compelling or less interesting. The best thing about watching Shakespeare is it helps us realize, even if this story was written 400 years ago, the ways we think as people, the ways we make decisions as people, the things that weigh on us and inspire us as people are the same. And watching really well-crafted, really interesting, fully human characters make decisions and deal with conflict and deal with emotion is my favorite thing about watching Shakespeare. So yes, absolutely. If you are a 100 Years' War scholar who loves thinking about the Battle of Agincourt, absolutely come. If you are somebody who enjoys watching people struggle with difficult questions and suffering the consequences, you're going to love it just as much. But this is your chance to see a really interesting play that does not get put on a lot. I think it's going to be a tremendously interesting production. I think it comes in a highly relevant political moment. And I hope to see you there. It's going to be great.